The information shared in this content represents the personal views of the author and guests. It does not reflect the opinions, ideas, policies, or views of PBC Punjabi Business Channel or its staff. The content provided is for informational purposes only, and this should not be accorded as a financial advice. The accuracy or completeness of the information presented or accessed through any links is not guaranteed by Punjabi Business Channel or the host. Punjabi Business Channel and the host are not liable for any errors or omissions in the information or for any consequences resulting from its display or use.
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਕਰ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਹੋ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਚੈਨਲ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਰੀਅਲ ਏਸਟੇਟ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਤੇ ਸਟਾਕ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਦੀ। ਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਸਟਾਕ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਦੀ। ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਨੇ ਜੀ ਦਵਿੰਦਰ ਸੋਹੀ ਭਾਜੀ ਫਰੋਮ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ। ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਭਾਜੀ, ਗੁੱਡ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਜੀ।
ਗੁੱਡ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਗਿਨੀ, ਗੁੱਡ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਐਂਡ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਦੇਖਣ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਜੀ।
ਜੀ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਾਫੀ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਭਾਜੀ ਜੁਆਇਨ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਸਟਾਰਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਸ਼ੋਅ। ਫਿਰ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਬਣ ਰਿਹਾ ਭਾਜੀ, ਡੇਟਾ ਆ, ਡੇਟਾ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਰਾਈਟ ਨਾਓ ਜੋ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਤੇ ਰੈਜ਼ਿਸਟੈਂਸ ਏਰੀਆ ਲੱਗਦਾ, ਕਿਹੜਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਭਾਜੀ, ਤੇ ਕੀ ਐਕਸਪੈਕਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਮੂਵ ਅੱਜ ਆਪਾਂ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ?
So the market is more PPI data came out this morning. Kal pata bhi CPI data came in right today. So the PPI data came in today this morning. So looking at the PPI this morning, core retail numbers came in at actually the lower actually, the forecasted was 0.2 and actually came at 0. And same thing with the other number, 0.2 was a forecast. They came at 0 as well. These numbers were quite strong the last time. And we were same thing. We were expecting this number to get strong too this time around. But these numbers came in and were very weak. And what is PPI data? PPI data is what the manufacturers make. For example, a car. Does the price of that car went up, or did the price of that car went down? According to these numbers, the price went down. If the price went down, that means we should get interest rate cuts. Yesterday with the CPI data, which was strong, PPI data today is suggesting that we should get interest rate cuts. So the market is in a little bit of rally mode this morning. But again, these numbers doesn't mean we're going to get a cut, but it's just a suggestion. But we have one more number this week to wait, and that is a retail number that is coming out tomorrow. And we will see that, and that will tell us more of a clear picture what direction we are going to go.
ਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ। ਤਾਂ ਕੱਲ ਦਾ ਜੋ ਡੇਟਾ ਆਉਣਾ ਭਾਜੀ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਥੋੜੀ ਹੋਰ ਕਨਫਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਮਿਲਦੀਆਂ। ਤਾਂ ਵੇਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੱਲ ਦੇ ਦਿਨ ਲਈ। ਤੇ ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਰੇਟ ਕੱਟ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ। ਤੇ ਸਟਾਕਸ ਨੇ ਭਾਜੀ ਉਹ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਕਮੋਡਿਟੀਜ਼ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਜੀ। ਕੱਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਟਾਕਸ ਕਮੋਡਿਟੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਵੀ ਘੱਟ ਲੁੱਕ ਲੈਤੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ। ਬਾਕੀ ਜੋ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਡੇਟਾ ਤੇ ਸਟਾਕਸ। ਗੋਲਡ ਤੇ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਭਾਜੀ। ਗੋਲਡ ਫਿਰ 3343 ਦਾ ਲੈਵਲ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ। 0.25% ਦੀ ਤੇਜ਼ੀ ਗੋਲਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਸਿਲਵਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ 38.21 ਦੇ ਲੈਵਲ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ। 0.25% ਦੀ ਤੇਜ਼ੀ ਸਿਲਵਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ।
So all these affect especially having on commodities. If you look at oil is kind of basically going a little bit to the. Let's take a look at the chart on the CL here. CL is basically crude oil is going to the downside. Why? Because yesterday we had the 10-year which went to the upside, which kind of initially took to the downside there. And because of the numbers that came out on the CPI numbers there, but then the 10-year yield also picked up to the upside because they were indicating there were going to be no interest rate cuts. If there were not going to be interest rate cuts, the 10-year went to the upside. Today, the suggestion is let's take a look at the 10-year first before we look at the oil price. So what is suggesting today? Today is suggesting that it's going to the downside a little bit. Why? Because the PPI numbers didn't come out strong to the upside. Like we were thinking that these numbers were going to be strong and we're not going to get interest rate cuts. But the PPI numbers are suggesting that we could possibly get our interest rate cut again. And that is driving the yield. And if you look at the yield, 2 days ago, this yield was sitting at right there, 4.2 there. Right today, the yield is sitting at 4.5 almost. And this is what basically this means is borrowing costs are going to go up. and the mortgage rates in the US are going to go up, and that means the housing market kind of a negative side. But long-term view, my view still is this 10-year is going to go to the downside. Why? Because $9.5 trillion debt.
ਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ। ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਵੀ ਭਾਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਮੋਡਿਟੀਜ਼ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਇਹ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਆਪਾਂ ਬੌਂਡ ਡੀਲ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਕਰੂਡ ਆਇਲ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਜੀ, ਤੇ ਨੈਚੁਰਲ ਗੈਸ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਭਾਜੀ। ਨੈਚੁਰਲ ਗੈਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 1% ਦੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਤੇਜ਼ੀ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਕਾਪਰ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਜਿਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਕਾਪਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 5.52 ਦੇ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ 1% ਦੀ ਗਿਰਾਵਟ ਹੈ ਜੀ।
Copper is, remember tariff, Donald Trump putting tariffs on copper. He's put on aluminum and steel. Again, all these tariffs need to settle down for that U.S. economy to get going. And if he can get these tariffs settled by, now he's saying by August 1st, till that market doesn't like certainty. And that's what creating a lot of these commodity prices, if you look at, and steel, all of them have gone up under the tariffs. And they somewhere along the way, they need to settle that because it disrupts the supply chain from behind. And the prices are fluctuating a lot. So this is what, we need the certainty in the market to get the economy going.
ਜੀ, ਤੇ ਸਿਲਵਰ ਤੇ ਭਾਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਬਾਕੀ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਕਮੋਡਿਟੀਜ਼ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਜੇ ਸਸਟੇਨ ਕਰਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸ, ਖਾਸ ਕਰ ਸਿਲਵਰ ਤੇ ਕਾਪਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਆਪਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਰੈਲੀ ਦੇਖਾਂਗੇ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਕੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਜੀ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ?
So looking at gold and silver, if you look at both of them, right now they're going sideways. My long-term view is still, I think gold and silver goes to the upside. Why? Because inflation. We got inflation numbers yesterday that
ਜੀ
were increased, and normally, if you look at a lot of the commodities, they're hedged against these, and especially gold. And if we continue to keep getting stronger numbers on the CPI, we're gonna see gold prices go higher. So even we're looking at the gold price today. It's sitting at $4 and actually $4.50 to the upside at 33.41 US an ounce. And I think that number it's like it's building. If you look at this whole chart here on the daily, it looks like a pretty strong bullish flag to the upside. So
ਜੀ
as long as it continues like that, it could possibly break out to the upside with the inflation. But where I got short is below this golden line, which is sitting
ਜੀ
at 30, almost 3,200. If it comes below there, then we could the only reason this will go below here is if we get cut down on inflation, if the inflation starts coming down. But with all these tariffs and the prices going up, I don't see inflation coming down anytime soon. So the price of gold continues to the upside.
ਜੀ, ਤੇ ਭਾਈ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਮੋਡਿਟੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ। ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਵਰਲਡ ਦੀ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਤੇ ਥੋੜੇ ਕਮੈਂਟ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ, ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਵਰਲਡ ਦੀ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਬਾਕੀ ਜੋ ਸਟਾਕਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਿਊਜ਼ ਨੇ ਅੱਜ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਹਨੀ ਐਸ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਮੈਂਟ ਆਇਆ ਭਾਜੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਭਾਜੀ, ਕੋਈ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਕੈਨ ਯੂ ਟੈਲ ਟੌਪ 3 ਰੋਬੋਟ ਕੰਪਨੀਜ਼ ਟਿਕਰ ਸਿੰਬਲ ਫॉर ਫਿਊਚਰ? ਤਿੰਨ ਰੋਬੋਟ ਬਾਰੇ ਪੁੱਛ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਜੀ।
I don't have it in front of me. One of the company that I own a little bit of shares is SCRV. There's many, and we talk about them in the our chat here, but I don't have them in front of me right now. Serve is one you can take a look, see how they're doing for you. But there are many, and a lot of them are involved with a lot of these chip makers already. So this company initially, when the robotics starts going up and down quite a bit, but now it's been kind of going a little bit to the sideways. So when the robotics starts coming out more and more, you're right. One thing is you're looking. One thing about you is you're looking in the right direction, where the future is. So I think
ਜੀ
the future is robotics after AI, and that's the next big sector. That's where we're gonna see a lot of the market gonna go to the upside. So you are looking in the right direction, definitely. But a lot of these robotic companies are already involved with NVIDIA and some of the other companies. And SCRV is the one that I'm looking at, but there's a lot of them out there. We discussed them in our group.
ਜੀ, ਤੇ ਇਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਜੀ ਰੋਬੋਟਿਕਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ। ਨੈਕਸਟ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਮੈਂਟ ਗੁਰਵੀਰ ਮਾਨ ਜੀ ਦੇ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ 3-4 ਸਟਾਕ ਪੁੱਛੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਅਜਮੇਰ ਗਿੱਲ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਕਮੈਂਟ ਆਇਆ। ਸਟਾਰਟ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ ਭਾਜੀ ਫਿਰ। ਪਹਿਲਾ ਕਮੈਂਟ ਹੈਗਾ ਬਾਬਾ ਅਲੀ ਬਾਬਾ, ਕਿਵੇਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਭਾਜੀ?
I mentioned this on Monday when the numbers from came out from the trade surplus from China and all that, and I mentioned them on Monday. Then and what happened to the stock? They start going up, and that's what even though this morning it's about $1 down on the pre-market, but if the Chinese economy is getting stronger and stronger, because one of the things is happening right now. The trade that was happening with the Americans is now a lot of trade is now happening with all the other different companies, and nobody's trading, especially with the U.S. right now with these tariffs. And a lot of that trade is happening with the rest of the world. And who's benefiting the most right now is China. And China's numbers, we saw those numbers on Sunday night that came in. And those numbers were very strong to the upside, and that is telling that the Chinese economies are recovering nicely. And if one more time we get those numbers again next month, and if they show very strong, I think you can. I would definitely buy the Chinese stocks right now, whether you're buying Baba, Baidu, JD.com, and there's a bunch of the other good stocks out there. But my favorite is Alibaba. So you you got the right one.
ਜੀ। ਤੇ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਭਾਜੀ ਨੀਓ। ਨੀਓ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਜੀ, ਇਹਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਨਹੀਂ?
NIO is an EV maker, right? I'm a negative right now a little bit on the electric car makers, and this one has again, look at that, it's recovering because of the numbers in the Chinese that economy. That's why the stock is going up. It's not going up because it did something special. It didn't do anything. It's basically the Chinese economy is pumping up, and that's why the stocks like this going to the upside. But the company that I like more like is BYD and this whole bunch of other ones. NIO is the luxury is not as much there as a BYD, and there are a lot of other car makers, and Tesla is not one of them. But again, they make very cheap cars, and like Europe and like US, like Canada, we all put 100% tariff on these cars. And if we didn't, these cars, we would be buying these cars instead of these North American made cars or the BMWs or the Mercedes. But again, these cars are very cheap, but the tariffs are there to keep the prices high. But the Chinese economy is recovering nicely. Yes, I would definitely be a buyer of Chinese stock, but NIO is not the one I think right now.
NIO ਭਾਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ। ਵੈਸੇ ਕੋਈ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਵਧੀਆ ਅਪਡੇਟ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਇਹ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਭਾਜੀ ਇੱਕ ਦੋ ਹੋਰ ਸਟਾਕ ਨੇ ਖਾਸ ਕਰ ਈਵੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਚਾਈਨੀਜ਼ ਕਾਫੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਲੂਜ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਮਨੀ। ਲੂਸਿਡ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਆ ਜੀ। ਇਹ ਦੋ ਸਟਾਕਸ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਵੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਵੋਇਡ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। BYD ਦਾ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਇੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਭਾਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੀਆਂ ਕਾਰਸ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਆਉਣੀਆਂ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਹੋ ਗਈਆਂ। ਦੁਬਈ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਬਾਕੀ ਯੂਰਪ ਸਾਈਡ BYD ਵਧੀਆ ਪਕੜ ਬਣਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਜੀ। ਵਧੀਆ ਕਾਰਸ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਨੇ, ਕੰਪੈਟੀਟਿਵ ਵੀ ਨੇ, ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਹੀ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਆਪਾਂ, ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਸਟਾਕ ਵਧੀਆ ਚੱਲ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ। ਬਾਬਾ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ, ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਸਟਾਕ ਹੈ ਜੀ। MCHI ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ETF ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਚਾਈਨੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਰਾਈਟ ਨਾਓ ਜੀ। ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਵੋਇਡ ਕਰੋ ਜੀ। NIO ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਲੂਸਿਡ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਇਹ ਬਸ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੇ ਬਹੁਤੇ ਤੇਜ਼ੀ ਬਣ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਨੈਕਸਟ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਭਾਜੀ ਸਨੈਪ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੋ ਜੀ ਫਿਰ?
To be honest with you, I'm not a personal holder of Snap. The only reason I look at Snap is when somebody brings it up here. Again, I'm not this is another chat group, or you can call it another social platform, sitting at $10. Again, it's a money losing company. You take a look at the numbers. It's been to the negative side. Companies like these need to generate a lot of they need to generate revenue. But the problem with it, the companies like this, when they're losing money, in the future, what they're going to do is they're going to dilute more shares when they issue more debt, whether that is by the debt levels or by the actually issuing more shares. So and when you look at revenue, it's been nice steadily to the upside, but the problem is the more revenues they make, the more money they're losing. So what's really costing them to make this earnings per share here? So they're showing positive. The revenues, earnings per share is getting better, but long term, in the next 4 quarters, we still not gonna see any improvement. So I like to stay away from stocks that don't make money, and this one is not making money.
ਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ। ਇਹ ਭਾਜੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਾਫੀ ਟਰੇਡ ਕੀਤਾ, ਖਾਸ ਕਰ ਰੇਂਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਦੋਂ ਉੱਪਰ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਸੈੱਲ ਕਰੋ, ਡਾਊਨ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਸਟਾਕ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਬਾਏ ਕਰੋ। ਸਵਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਧੀਆ ਮਨੀ ਜਨਰੇਟ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, ਬਟ ਰਾਈਟ ਨਾਓ ਕਾਫੀ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੋਂ ਇਹ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਸਲੋ ਡਾਊਨ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਸਟਾਕ। ਖਾਸ ਕਰ ਮਾਰਚ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ, ਮਾਰਚ ਤੋਂ ਇਹ ਸਟਾਕ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਡਾਊਨ ਆ। ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਇੱਕ ਏਰੀਆ ਬਣਦਾ ਸੀ ਇਹਦਾ $8-9 ਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਇੱਕ ਬਾਇੰਗ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀਗੀ, ਤੇ $12 ਤੇ ਸੈੱਲ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਜੀ। ਰੈਵਨਿਊ ਤਾਂ ਭਾਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇਨਕਰੀਜ਼ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ, ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਆ ਅਰਨਿੰਗਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਤੇ ਖਾਸ ਕਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੋ ਕੰਪੀਟੀਸ਼ਨ ਮਿਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਟਿਕਟੋਕ ਤੋਂ। ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਭਾਜੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਬਣਦਾ ਜੀ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਦਾ ਫਿਰ। ਜੀ, ਤੇ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਹੈਗਾ ਜੀ ਅਜਮੇਰ ਗਿੱਲ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਕਮੈਂਟ, ਸ਼ੁੱਡ ਆਈ ਸੈਲ PNG at 42% ਐਂਡ AMD at 35% ਪ੍ਰੋਫਿਟ? ਭਾਜੀ ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਤਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਫਿਟ ਜੀ
Definitely. Look, these stocks, I think the market personally, I think is going to turn around a little bit to the downside. So this is another robotic company, I guess PNG, sitting at 337, a very small penny stock. Would I buy this one? Again, quickly take a look at the numbers. Earnings are sort of like 1 cent, 2 cents. I usually try to stay away from stocks really that are penny stocks. But again, looking at this one, revenue is 100 million. Market cap is almost 800, almost $1 billion. But again, this is the only interest that I would have in it is because it is a robotic stock. Okay, so that's the only interest I would have it. Other than that, I don't think this is again penny stock. I like something. Serb might be a little better than this, or some of the other stocks, robotics that we talk about. But again, it's just you got to be very careful when they're penny stocks. There's a lot of robotic stocks that are good stocks that are really going up in dollars. There's one that's over $100. I can't think of the ticker, but that is having a very fast revenue. And they also have a deal with NVIDIA as well. They're using a lot of those robotics with their NVIDIA chips. So if I think of that stock, I will put it in the chat here.
ਜੀ, ਤੇ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਭਾਜੀ AMD ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ, ਖਾਸ ਕਰ ਜੋ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੱਲ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ, NVIDIA ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਚਿਪ ਮੇਕਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਸਟਾਕਸ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਫੀ ਤੇਜ਼ੀ ਬਣ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਰਾਈਟ ਨਾਓ ਪ੍ਰੋਫਿਟ ਬੁਕਿੰਗ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਵੇਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਜੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ?
I think so. These chip stocks have really run up, including AMD. If you look at this chart, and you're looking at NVIDIA at all-time highs, but again, I think they had a lot of wrong, and a lot of these chips ran up because Hang Seng, the CEO of NVIDIA, went on to China. First, you met remember I mentioned all this here. We met Donald Trump, and I said it right here. He's going to try to make some sort of deal with the Trump. So he's got an okay from Trump to sell the H20 chip to the Chinese. So it lifted all these chip makers, since then, and the market has been pushing to the higher side. So I think they haven't really created anything different other than to sell these chips over there. But I think it's time to take some profit.
ਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ, ਥੋੜੀ ਬਹੁਤੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਜੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਫਿਟ ਬੁਕਿੰਗ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਟਾਕਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਤੇ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਆਇਆ ਜੀ ਸੁਖਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਕਮੈਂਟ, ਇਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੁਖਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਰਾਂ LONQ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ।
LONQ
ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ IONQ ਹੋਣਾ ਭਾਜੀ ਇਹ?
Yeah, I think it's IONQ. Yeah.
ਜੀ।
Okay, so this stock, I think we talked about a while ago. It's kind of topping out right now, and it's it's almost a third the top. We need to break above 49. Technically, we need to break above 49.22 for it to go upside. So anyways, let's take a look at what this stock does. It manufactures quantum computing. Okay, look, remember about 3-4 months ago, quantum computing got really popular. And that's why a lot of these stocks have been going to the upside. And this is sitting at the market cap, which is very good, around almost $11 billion. And when so quantum computing, the revenue here has been increasing only 44 million, but they are trying to increase the revenue. But 44 million is not comparison, but it's looking very much overvalued when you look at $11 billion company and very small revenue. But if you look at earnings, also money losing. But long term, it really has to increase its revenue. I don't think this revenue is there to support $11 billion company. I think it's very high priced right now. But I still like some of the other companies that are better in robotics and quantum computing. But this one is a little expensive. Remember, a lot of these companies run up with the big companies to the upside. Because they're running, and I think this is what happened to this company as well. But I think it's too expensive. I would be very careful.
ਜੀ ਤੇ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਸਟਾਕ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ, ਡੀ ਦਿਓਲ ਜੀ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਮੈਂਟ ਆਇਆ, ਬਾਇਓ ਸਾਇੰਟ ਇਨਕੋਰਪੋਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਸਮਥਿੰਗ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਇਹ ਸਟਾਕ, ਤੇ ਟਿੱਕਰ ਸਿੰਬਲ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਮੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਜੀ ਲਾਸਟ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ RX.V, ਇਹ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ।
RX.V, I don't find it. RX.
RX ਕਰੋ ਭਾਜੀ ਕੱਲਾ RX dot.
Yeah. So this is on the TSX. That's what it looks like.
ਨਹੀਂ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਜੀ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਮੈਂਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਭਾਈ, ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਮੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਗੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ।
Unless they're talking about RX and RX, which is a pharmaceutical company. So if you're talking about this one here, chart doesn't look too good right now. Chart is sitting at the bottom. It did an IPO a while back here on $10. That's what it came up. The problem with the pharmaceutical sector right now, let me not just only on this stock, let me talk about the pharmaceutical stuff. The pharmaceutical stuff, Donald Trump has said he's going to start putting tariffs on them by the end of this month. And that is going to drive the prices of the drugs to the upside. And if the drug drives the price to the upside, a lot of these insurance companies that has to pay out the benefits are going to the downside. You look at Humana, you look at United Health, you look at MetLife, all of these companies are headed to the downside, because if the drug companies go up, prices go up, there will be a less benefit distribution. And they also already cut Medicaid in the budget. So Donald Trump has not been sporting sporting the drug industry at all. So it doesn't look good right now. And I would stay away from these insurance companies, plus these pharmaceutical companies as well. But this one's got a nice increased revenue, over 60 million and over 2.26 billion in revenue. It's a biotech. With stocks like this, either you're going to win a lottery or they're going to go to the downside. So this here, so far, it doesn't look too bad, but again, big time losing money.
ਜੀ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਵੀ ਭਾਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕੈਪੀਟਲ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ, ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਕੈਪ ਵੀ ਥੋੜੀ ਘੱਟ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਤੇ ਠੀਕ ਜੀ ਕੰਪਨੀ 133 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਦੀ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਵਾਈਡ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਭਾਜੀ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਭਾਜੀ ਮੋਸਟਲੀ ਆਪਾਂ।
money losing companies are eventually they go to the downside, but it takes time. But if you the other thing is, one thing, just because I'm said I haven't researched the company, I just want to be clear to everybody. I basically look at the chart and I look at the numbers in front of me. But if you like, especially a company like that, you have to do a research on it, see what kind of drugs they're coming out and how far are those drugs, especially are they in phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 is the last phase where they're actually going to get approval. So if they're in phase 3, chances are if they get the approval, this drug, you're going to win a lottery. Okay, so don't just take for what I'm saying here. You actually have to go do a research in stocks like this and see what kind of drugs they're coming out with. So my thing is to check the numbers here and take a look at the chart and take a look at the what they do. Basically look at the numbers. But again, a company like this tomorrow come out and say Devinder was talking about they're not buying this thing, but the stock goes up like $100 tomorrow because they came out with a drug that has been approved by the FDA. So you got to be, even though I'm saying looking at what I'm saying, but again, you must do a further research on it.
ਜੀ, ਆਪਾਂ ਬਾਈ ਬੇਸਿਕਲੀ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਕੁਛ ਕੁ ਸੈਕਟਰ ਨੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਦੂਰ ਰਹੋ, ਜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਟਾਕਸ ਬਾਏ ਕਰਨੇ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਪਰ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਰੋ। ਪਹਿਲੇ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਏਅਰਲਾਈਨ ਕੰਪਨੀਜ਼, ਮੋਸਟਲੀ ਮਨੀ ਲੂਜ਼ਿੰਗ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਸਟਾਕਸ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਵੋਇਡ ਕਰੋ। ਇਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਟਰੈਵਲ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਉਹ ਆ ਜੀ, ਟਿਕਟ ਪੇ ਕਰੋ, ਟਰੈਵਲ ਕਰੋ, ਸਟਾਕਸ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਏ ਕਰੋ। ਦੂਜੇ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਫਾਰਮਾਸਿਊਟੀਕਲ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਦੂਰ ਰਹੋ। ਜੋ ਵੱਡੀਆਂ ਕੰਪਨੀਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਕੰਪਨੀਜ਼ ਹੋ ਗਈਆਂ, ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਸੈਕਟਰ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੀਡਰ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੇ ਵੀ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ, ਬਟ ਜੋ ਰੈਂਡਮ ਜੇ ਸਟਾਕਸ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਾਰਮਾਸਿਊਟੀਕਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਵੋਇਡ ਕਰੋ। ਤੇ ਥਰਡ ਭਾਜੀ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਕੈਟੇਗਰੀ ਆ? ਥਰਡ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਸਟਾਕਸ ਅਵੋਇਡ ਕਰਨੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਸੈਕਟਰ ਅਵੋਇਡ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ?
Right now, you can't really say what sector to avoid in. It's more like individual stocks. ਜਿਹੜੀ company, ਜਿਹੜੀ stock market as well is sitting at all-time highs. So you have to, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ research ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ, look at the sectors that haven't been performing. And some of those sectors are like real estate and staples, consumers, retail. Those stocks have not performed well, and those you'll find a lot of cheap stuff in there, especially a stock like Target. So if I'm look at those ones that are not well performed. So these stocks here, I do believe Target will pick up in the next couple of months to the upside. So I like to buy these while they're down. So this is an opportunity to pick up Target. Target one time was like 170. What was the price? Over almost like $180, and over 260, and sitting at today is sitting at $102. Again, the retail sector has been taking hit for the last 2 years almost now, and I think this is a sector that can come back eventually to the upside. I think it's too cheap. You take a look at Nike, you take a look at Lulu, you take a look at Target. Every one of those stocks have been going to the downside. So I think that this is the one that you should really take a look at the sectors and look at the sectors that haven't been performing.
ਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ। ਤੇ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਭਾਜੀ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਚੈੱਕ। ਗੁਰਵੀਰ ਮਾਨ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਬੈਸਟ ਸਟਾਕ ਫॉर ਟੁਡੇ।
Look, banks are coming out with earnings. What's the best stock for today? I think we really have to pay attention for the next couple of days because we got retail's numbers coming out. I like to see a more clarity by tomorrow where the interest rates are going. And if I see the interest rates tomorrow, especially the retail numbers down, tomorrow retail numbers going to be down, I think we're going to get increased chances of getting interest rate cuts. So, and tomorrow, let's see, I think we can make a more clarity decision with the numbers. And again, let's see what Trump also is, because the problem is Donald Trump also comes in and says, hey, I'm putting tariffs on, tariffs are up, tariffs are moving to August the 1st. He's creating a lot of uncertainty in the market. I want to see a little bit of clarity, what direction we can go, and then we can buy stocks. I'm personally, even my people that have been holding with me, all the stocks that we have made very good profit in the last especially 2 months, and basically my idea to them is start taking profits, start taking the money out of the market. I think we're going to have a dip somewhere because of the $9.5 trillion debt, and trying to bring interest rates down and stuff like that. But again, we're just going to have to be very there's not many stocks out there, to be honest with you, that are really stand out in a buy right now. And there's very few. Pepsi I'm still holding. I know a lot of people are holding Pepsi and stuff like that. But again, there's not many stocks. So just hold on. Well, hopefully, the thing is, if you put money now and the money's going to go down, you don't want to do that. Your portfolio to go down, then get out. You actually want to pick stocks that are from the bottom and then make money on the way up. So stick with us, be patient, and we will bring you some good stocks.
ਜੀ ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਬਾਈ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਡੇਟਾ ਆਉਣ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਕੁਝ ਕੁ ਸਟਾਕਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਰੀਜ਼ਨ ਵੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਾਈਡ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਸਟਾਕਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਧੀਆ ਪੋਟੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਤੇ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਭਾਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਚੈੱਕ। ਅਮਨਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੀਤਾ ਅਲਕੋਆ, ਵਨ ਆਫ ਯੂਰ ਫੇਵਰੇਟ ਸਟਾਕ ਭਾਜੀ।
It's my very good stock. It made me ton of money, and it's going to make you ton of money still. It's a little bit down to the downside because of the yield going to the upside. But again, aluminum tariffs are on. Donald Trump hasn't taken those off. He's put them to 50% on steel, 50% on Alcoa. I'd say just wait right now. If you're wait what tomorrow's retail numbers come out and see what direction we are going interest rates. But I like this stock even at current price. If you're a long-term holder, I think you can buy it here. And if it comes a little more cheaper, definitely would like to buy some more. I had this trend line here to the upside. It just has broken a little bit to that downside, but it has a very strong holding around the $22. I don't think it's going to get there to 22, but I think it's a good time to maybe just add a little bit at a time.
ਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ। ਤੇ ਇਹ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਐਲਕੋਆ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ। ਨੈਕਸਟ ਹੈਗਾ ਜੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਕਮੈਂਟ ਆਗਿਆ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਪੁੱਛ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਐਲੀ ਲਿਲੀ ਬਾਰੇ। ਐਲੀ ਲਿਲੀ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ।
Okay, Lilly, LLY. It's another drug maker again. The weight loss drug has really worked for them well, but the problem is they had to lower the prices. And one time this stock was way up here, and it's going a little bit sideways. That drug that they came out. Remember all this year, this market went up because of that weight loss drug got approval, and now the price they really priced it high back here. And the price of that drug now is there because it's so expensive. A lot of people are not buying it, and plus Medicaid cuts, the insurance. This company is holding to the sideways. But again, is it a buy here? Again, I would wait till these Medicaid things are set and see what what is Donald Trump going to do with the pharmaceutical by the end of the month? Is he going to put tariffs on? If he puts tariffs on, drugs like this could be hurt. And let's see what happens by the end of the month. But I would wait. I would hold on.
ਜੀ ਤੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਐਲੀ ਲਿਲੀ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ। ਨੈਕਸਟ ਹੈਗਾ ਜੀ ਰੀਤ ਜੀ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਮੈਂਟ ਆਇਆ brk.b।
Berkshire Hathaway. Look, I don't think Warren Buffett is running the company anymore. It's a new CEO that's running the company. Basically, it's not because it's a bad stock. The problem is it's the same problem as what I got. There's nothing out there to buy. And these guys got over $300 billion sitting there, want to buy something. But the problem is there's nothing to buy. And that's a problem out there. So I say hold on, wait till something does become cheap, and that's when you want to spend the money. And that's why this stock is kind of going sideways. I would be a buyer of Berkshire Hathaway even at this price. So I don't know what the sitting is, around 450 or something.
472 right now.
470. There you go. I would definitely be a buyer even at current price. If it goes down further, I would just keep adding. Look at this company, historic. This came actually $1,000 in '95, and since then it's split a number of times. The last split was $62. It went from I don't know what the price was, but $62 was a split. And since then, this thing has gone over $525, sitting at 472. You cannot go wrong for Berkshire Hathaway. I think if you got small kids, I think you should buy Berkshire Hathaway stock for them.
ਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ। ਵੈਸੇ ਓਵਰਆਲ ਵਧੀਆ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਸਟਾਕ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹ ਰਾਈਟ ਨਾਓ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਓਪਰਚੁਨਿਟੀ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਭਾਈ ਡਿਪ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਸਟਾਕ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਾਇੰਗ ਲਈ ਥੋੜਾ ਐਡ ਆਨ।
I mean, you can sleep on it every single night, knowing that companies. Remember, I don't think Berkshire Hathaway should be called a stock. I think it should be called an ETF because they own a whole bunch of companies. And the thing is with them, when they own a whole bunch of companies, is a lot of those companies that Berkshire Hathaway is holding are private, right? Just like a big railway company. They hold a railway company that is private. And there's furniture stores that they hold. There's a whole bunch of, like Geico is an insurance company. All of them are private companies. Okay, they're not publicly traded companies. So I think it's a wrong thing to call this thing as a stock. I think it should be called ETF.
ਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ। ਤੇ ਇਹ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਭਾਜੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਸਟਾਕ। ਨੈਕਸਟ ਹੈਗਾ ਜੀ ਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਕਮੈਂਟ, ਐਨੀ ਸ਼ਾਰਟ ਟਾਈਮ ਟਾਰਗੇਟ ਫॉर Amazon।
Amazon is a very strong stock. Short-term target, if you're looking for, I think $240, I think is a good bet. They also did recently, yesterday or the day before, they are launching a whole bunch of satellites. Amazon is launching a whole bunch of satellites, believe it or not. Through they're doing it through SpaceX. So the short-term target on this one is 240. But again, what these tariffs are going to do, what kind of news is going to come out, I don't know. But again, if this stock does come down, I would still hang on to it. Yeah, I think you're gonna long-term view my on especially Amazon is to the upside.
ਜੀ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਭਾਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਐਮਾਜ਼ੋਨ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਤੇ ਡਿਵਰਸੀਫਾਈਡ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਬਰਕਸ਼ਾਇਰ ਤੇ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਆਇਆ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਭਾਜੀ ਯੂਰ ਲੋਗੋ ਕਵਰਸ ਦਾ ਨੇਮ ਆਫ ਦਾ ਸਟਾਕ ਕੈਨ ਯੂ ਰਿਡਿਊਸ ਪੀਬੀਸੀ ਲੋਗੋ ਔਰ ਚੇਂਜ ਪੋਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਇਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਭਾਜੀ ਫਿਕਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਕਾਕੂ ਅਰੋੜਾ ਜੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਹੈਪੀ ਟ੍ਰੇਡਿੰਗ ਵੈਨਸਡੇ ਟੂ PBC team, thank you ji. Your comments on overall reaction of the market since chance if rate cuts are minimum now.
Yeah, ਇਹ ਵਧੀਆ ਸਟਾਕ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਨਾ ਕਾਕੂ ਅਰੋੜਾ ਕਾਫੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਟਾਕ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸੋ ਮਚ ਫॉर those comments. And I mean everybody thanks for bringing in your stocks again. Like I said, when we do analysis here and the stock, we do it very quickly. But we look at the chart, we look at the numbers very quickly. But what we don't see in background is, like, I like to read transcript. So if you're going to buy any company, every company has a transcript. What I'm talking about transcript is whenever the numbers come out every quarter, those numbers are talked by the CEO, the CFO, and COO, and all of those guys. What they do, what they talk about in there is what is the company doing. So, if, for example, if you bring this company that is doing drug research, they also list their point of view in the drug. So, what is that drug is gonna they're gonna get approval? They talk about that stuff. A lot of those transcripts you can go right to the company website. So if you're looking at any company like Amazon has a website, they have a section called investors side, and it's really in there. You can go take a look at their stock price. You can take a look at their transcript, their earnings. That's where you actually should do your research. And there's a lot of websites out there like Seeking Alpha that we do. Every time I buy any company, I go into the details of the company. I look at the balance sheet before I buy a stock. So here I usually, when I'm doing anything analysis for you, it's quickly looking at the chart and quickly looking at the numbers. But if you want to buy, if I'm going to go spend money on any stock that if I want to buy, I have to do a research. So I got to feel comfortable with it, that I'm going to buy this stock. So I think that's the same thing that you should do. Just don't go buy a stock so your friend tells you, hey, this is a good stock. Do your research on before you buy any stock.
ਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਓਵਰਆਲ ਸਟਾਕਸ ਦੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਸਕ੍ਰਿਪਟ ਰੀਡ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਬਾਕੀ ਜੋ ਥੋੜੀ ਹੋਰ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਬੇਸਿਕਲੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਚਾਰਟ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਟੈਕਨੀਕਲ ਵੀ ਯੈਸ ਜਾਂ ਨੋ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਸਟਾਕ ਦੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਥੋੜਾ ਹੋਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਡਿਟੇਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੀਡ ਕਰਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਾਇੰਗ ਲਈ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਭਾਜੀ ਕੱਲ ਜੀ
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ so we try to give you as much information here but actually if you do your own little bit of research because you're taking a lot of risk with you put a lot of money in the market and you want to be comfortable with it if the stock goes down like I've been buying telling about the housing market housing stocks and we've been buying yesterday those stocks went to the downside. The reason they went to the downside because the 10-year yield picked up to the upside. So that's why those stocks were down. But it's not the reason I want to sell those stocks. Just because those stocks went to the downside on this thing, because I know in the future that yield is going to go back to the downside and eventually these stocks will go back to the upside. So you got to know what affects your stock. Like pharmaceutical, when I'm talking about pharmaceutical industry, and Donald Trump is going to put our tariffs on it, guess what's going to happen to those drug stocks? So if you're making money on some of those drug stocks, time to take some profit on them. So when I'm talking about something like that, overall sector. Even we're talking about sector. So when there's a negative, you want to take money out of it. When we talk about a positive side, that's when you want to buy those stocks. Yes, I think Pepsi is still Pepsi is actually Raj coming out with earnings tomorrow, and I do think they're gonna be okay. But I'm holding on to my Pepsi stock. Remember, I don't play stocks for for earnings, but I already own this stock for long term. So I'm gonna continue to own it. And if tomorrow earnings go a little bit to the downside, I'm still gonna buy the stock. But my long-term view is Pepsi is going to go to the upside. I do have $150, $160 target on it.
ਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਤੇ
Yes,
ਫਿਰ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ-
sorry, but I also like the American Express as well. Yes, I do. AXP.
ਜੀ ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਭਾਜੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਟਾਕਸ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਰੇਟ ਦੇ ਕੱਟ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ, ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੋਲ ਡੇਟਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਤੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਸਟਾਕਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਓਪਰਚੁਨਿਟੀ ਦੇਖਾਂਗੇ, ਕਿਹੜੇ ਸਟਾਕਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਪੋਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਕੱਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਆਪਾਂ ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ। ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਫਿਰ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਮ ਅਪ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ।
Yes. So tomorrow the retail numbers, if they're to the downside, that's going to affect stocks like Nike. You're going to see this effect like Lulu and Target. Those numbers, when they come out, if they show to the bad side, that means they're already telling you, look how bad Target is doing, Nike. So those numbers that we're going to see tomorrow, but by just looking at those stocks that have been how bad they've been doing to the downside, I don't think they're going to be impressive. And if they're not, that's going to signal up for interest rate cuts. So we'll see that tomorrow morning.
ਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਭਾਜੀ ਜੁਆਇਨ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ, ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਜੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਜੁਆਇਨ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ। ਤੇ ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ, ਫਿਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਡਿਸਕਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਡੇਟਾ ਤੇ ਸਟਾਕਸ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ।
Thank you and stay green. ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ।
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ।
The information shared in this content represents the personal views of the author and guests. It does not reflect the opinions, ideas, policies, or views of PBC Punjabi Business Channel or its staff. The content provided is for informational purposes only, and this should not be accorded as a financial advice. The accuracy or completeness of the information presented or accessed through any links is not guaranteed by Punjabi Business Channel or the host. Punjabi Business Channel and the host are not liable for any errors or omissions in the information or for any consequences resulting from its display or use.